Welcome, everybody, and thank you for listening to the Better Bushcraft Podcast, the place where you will learn the skills to succeed on your next outdoor adventure. My name is Tommy Clark, your host, and this is episode 19, Making Your Own Gear Items. But before we get into today's topic, let's see what's going on here at Better Bushcraft. I put up a couple new videos on YouTube and the website, and the first one, I made a video on how to patina your knife using oranges. It's a two-part video that I did showing you what you need to patina your knife just using a couple of oranges and how to do it, and it turned out pretty good. It made some really interesting etchings on the knife, and it turned out pretty nice. So if you ever want to put a patina on your knife or figure out how to do it for very low cost, for like under $1, check out that video on the website and it'll give you some ideas for that. I also put up a new video on my homemade haversack that I made last weekend, and I'll show you in the video how much it cost, what I did, and what it looks like. And I will be using that haversack this week and shooting a couple of follow-up videos just showing you how well it does and what I use it for. And I actually made that just to gather things around camp, so be sure to check out that video on the website as well. As well as check out the website for articles that I've been putting up all about bushcraft. I'm going to be putting up several new articles each week, showing you just different gear items that I carry, why I use them, and why you should include them in your gear, and things of that nature. So I'm going to be going out bushcrafting this weekend, like I said, and I'll be shooting some videos at the lake and just about different skills and different gear and things that you can do while you're out bushcrafting. So be sure to check out the website every day for new videos. I'm going to be posting a lot more from the lake and different ponds around the area and showing you different stuff to do. So lastly, before we get into the main section of today's podcast, this is the question of the week. What is the latest piece of gear that you have purchased, and why did you get it? And also, how's it been working out for you? I mean, did you purchase any new fire steels or any new shelter systems or a new knife or anything like that? I'd be interested into hearing about what you bought and why you decided to get it and how well it's been working out. So be sure you send your emails to idea@betterbushcraft.com, and I'll be sure to put those on the future podcast and just let everybody know what everybody's doing out there while they're out bushcrafting. So anyways, let's get into today's main topic, which I said was making your own gear items. And I thought about talking about that for several different reasons, because making your own gear is a great way to practice your skills, just figuring out how to do things for yourself, as well as add a personal touch to your gear systems. And one of the things that I really like about it is it saves money. So if you're one of those people that are trying to do bushcrafting on a budget, making your own gear items is a great way to do so, and also it's fun. So here are just a few of the projects that I have done over the years, and hopefully you try some of these out and give you some ideas of things that you can do on your own as well. So I have probably 12 things or so listed here, and I'm going to go through them one by one, and just to give you guys some ideas of things to work on. The first one, since I did it the most recently, is my haversack. The reason why I decided to make my own haversack instead of going out and purchasing one over the internet was, first, there are some really great haversacks out there that you can buy from different places, and really good quality, but they're around like $45 on up, at least the ones that I have seen, the really nice ones. And I really didn't want to spend that much money just buying a haversack. I wasn't quite sure if I would use it a whole lot or not, but so I decided, why not make my own? So I went around YouTube and searched a couple different videos, and I saw one how to make a haversack, just doing it yourself, and it was real easy, so I decided to try it out. And what I did is I went to Walmart, and I just bought a 6x9 canvas tarp, and also some thread and a needle. So the cost of materials for it was only like $13 or so, and actually it's even less than that because I only used half of the canvas, so I can actually make another haversack if I chose to, either to sell or just to keep as a backup. So really, you can make two haversacks for about $13 instead of spending $45 or so just buying it online. And it ended up being pretty fun to do, because I made mine a little bit larger than the ones I saw on the internet. I wanted it just a little bit bigger to carry some more stuff in, and all I did was cut the canvas tarp in half pretty much, and then figured out how big I wanted it, and doubled it over and sewed it up, made a couple pockets. And also what I did, if you watch the video, is I actually dyed the canvas a darker color. And the way I did that was I just cooked up several different pots of coffee, put them in a big old container, put it on the stove until it got boiling again, and then I put my haversack in that and let it sit for about 30 minutes or so. And then all I did was wash it out and then dry it. And I wanted it a little bit darker, so I did it again. You don't really have to, but I did. So it gives it that really nice, authentic, dark-looking color to it. And it turned out really great. Another thing that I wanted to put on my haversack that I saw that some didn't have is a little strap on the back, so you could put your hatchet or axe in, and that way you can carry it on the back side. That way it's not taking up any of the pocket room, and you always have it there too. So if you're out collecting different materials such as tinder or fat wood or anything like that, you have your axe right there handy just to cut some off and then throw it in a pouch, and I think it's going to work really great. Like I said, I'm going to use it this coming weekend, and I'm really excited about that. Wanted something smaller just to carry around and use. So anyways, if you're looking into another gear bag or something like a haversack to carry with you, I suggest you do it on your own. You know, it didn't take that much time. I just popped in a video. I just watched a movie while I sewed it up, and it was kind of fun to do. And it's also really neat to say that you made something that you're using while bushcrafting. So I definitely give you guys a heads up, or I give you guys the option to do that. All you have to do is go on to YouTube and check out a video of how to make a haversack, and it was really simple, and hopefully you guys do it. So next one down, since it was the previous project that I did, was my leather pouch that I made. If you watch the video how I made that leather pouch that I carry around with me as my EDC kit, that was probably one of my favorite projects to do, just because it was really simple. I did 0 stitching on that. All I did is pop in some rivets and a couple buttons and made it darker, and it turned out really well. So if you're looking for something to carry some of your basic items with you on your belt as a belt system, check out that video, and it'll give you a great idea how to make a leather pouch for really cheap. And there again, I saw some really great leather pouches online, but those were probably $80 on up or so. And I made mine. Honestly, I spent like $3 or $4 probably just in a couple buttons and some rivets because I had the material. And hopefully you guys check that out. And also all I did on that too, just to make it more waterproof, is I just put some lard on the outside, rubbed it in. That way it's a little bit more waterproof. And I did that same thing on the haversack. I forgot to mention that in the video, but I actually put lard on the haversack all over. I did 2 coats. That way it's a little bit more water repellent. So there's another idea for you guys if you're looking for another gear pouch system to carry with you, is just to make your own leather pouch. Next on the list that I have on here is making your own paracord bracelets. Paracord bracelets are something really simple to do. You can find lots of videos on YouTube on how to do it, just using a simple cobra stitch. And if you want to do it a little bit bigger like mine, I did a king cobra over that. And it's a great way to carry some extra paracord with you, and also it looks pretty cool. And that way you always know you have at least 10 to 15 feet or so of paracord if you needed to break it down and use it to build a shelter or something like that. So if you're looking for a simple project to do, I definitely suggest you start with like a paracord bracelet. You can do them in about 20 minutes or so, and it's really cool. All right, next on the list is fire starters. I talked about fire starters quite a bit in my podcast and videos, just because I think it's one of the things that is really great from anywhere someone's that's just started into bushcraft all the way through the more advanced bushcrafters. You know, you're always going to need a way to start a fire, and you can buy really great already made fire starters, fire tenders or stuff like that online. You know, you got those wet fire and different things of that nature. But making your own is really simple to do. It's super cheap, and you can make a whole bunch at one time. That way you have enough for several different outings if you wish. So the first one is just to make your own char cloth. Like I told you before, making char cloth is really simple to do in concept as long as you do it right. And for those of you that don't know much about char cloth is something that's not going to give you a flame, but it's going to catch a spark and allow you to build a fire from that. So what you do is cut a couple pieces of cotton into squares, and you put it in a little metal tin or something like that, and throw it on a fire. And the top of the lid, as long as you have a lid on there, you puncture a little hole to let all the oxygen escape, but oxygen can't go in there to actually catch the char cloth on fire, and you let it go until it turns black, about 15 minutes or so. Let it cool, and then take them off. And what that's going to allow you to do is strike your fire still in that cloth, and it's going to catch it real quickly, and then you can put that in a tinder bundle and start a fire that way. I mean, you can use old t-shirts as long as they're 100% cotton, and you can make a whole bunch at one time, and it's going to last you quite a bit. So the next one, cotton balls. Like I said before, cotton balls are a super easy way. One of the first ways I learned how to make my own fire starters. All you got to do is take a cotton ball and dip it in wax or petroleum jelly, and that's it. So cotton balls is definitely a great way to start a fire for not that much money. And the last one I'm going to talk about fire starters, since I covered this before, is my egg carton fire starters. And if you guys haven't checked out my video of how to do it, I definitely suggest you check that out, because in that video I show you how to do it step by step. Several different materials that you need. All you need is some egg cartons, some lint from the dryer, and old candle wax. And you basically make 12 to 18 different fire starters all at once. And those are awesome. They last about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Really great, pretty much waterproof, windproof, and once they get going, they last quite a long time. So you should be able to get a fire going super easy using the egg carton fire starter. So that's another tip for you guys if you're looking about making your own gear. So let's move on to some other things that I've done. Making your own fire steel handles. And I use different materials, wood and fat wood, and the difference between that, obviously, is wood is just plain old wood. You can use pine, you can use oak, you can use anything pretty much. But I made a couple of those, and I thought of the good idea of why not make it out of fat wood? That way I have a fire starter and a tinder all in one if I needed to. So I always carry my fat wood fire steel handle on my Becker BK2, which is the main knife that I use. And I haven't had to break down the handle and cut some off of it yet, and I'm hoping I don't ever have to, just because I don't want to make another one before I have to. But it was really easy to do. You just got to carve up some of that fat wood into like a block, and then shape it using like a Dremel tool or something like that. Drill a hole the size of the fire steel, and then epoxy it in. Really simple to do. I think it took me about 20 minutes or so from start to finish. And it looks really cool too. So, making your own fire steel handles helps suit your style. There's a lot of really cool fire steels out there on the internet, like everything else. But a lot of them are kind of expensive for what they are. Not saying that they're not worth it, but you can do it yourself for a lot less money, and it's more personalized that way. So if you ever thought about making your own fire steel handles, all you could do is buy some blanks from like firesteel.com or some other place, and just do it real quick, and it turns out pretty cool. All right, next one I'm going to go into. I did this about a year ago or so. I made my own knife scales for my Becker BK2, and me and my buddy did so. And the reason why I did my own knife scales is because I really like the Becker K-Bar BK2 knife. If many of you guys are probably really familiar about that knife, it's a huge knife. It's pretty much the beast. It'll do everything from chopping, carving, batoning, anything really well. And but I didn't really care too much for the not plastic, but the kind of plastic looking handles. And I wanted something a little bit more authentic looking. I wanted wood scales, the handles pretty much. So what we did is we just took a couple of blocks of wood and traced out the design of the handle, cut them out, and then we stained them. And they turned out really cool. It's like a nice dark wood handles that I have on there now. And it was a project that took a little bit of skill. You got to have the right tools and everything like that, a couple Dremel tools and cutting tools and stuff like that. But you can really get really personalized with your knife scales. You can make them different colors, made it out of different woods, make them even a different design if you want to fit your hand. And I think I'm going to actually make some new knife scales for it just to change up the color once in a while. And it's something that if you guys want to be doing or interested in, you could check it out on YouTube. I might even make a video of my new knife scales that I'm going to be making and show you guys how to do that step by step. But just another idea to make your own gear personalized that way, making your own knife scales. All right, moving on to other things that I have done in the past. Making your own tent pegs or tent stakes. They're really easy to do. Once again, you can find many videos of this on YouTube. Making your own tent stakes is something easy to do, and it's something that you're probably going to have to do once in a while because you're going to forget your aluminum stakes if you are like me at least. I usually try to pack all my stuff. I got my tarp and lines ready, and then I forget like the stakes or something like that. So making your own tent stakes, really simple project to do. Just using different sticks, just sharpening the end, putting a nice little notch in the top to wrap your paracord on. And once again, it's something that if you are new to bushcraft and you haven't done, I definitely suggest you do it on purpose next time, just to know that you guys can do it. And it's really simple. All right, moving on to kits. Making your own gear kits is something that's going to save you a lot of money. There's some really good kits out there, many different places, but you can make your own fishing kits just by putting in a fishing line, some lures, a couple hooks and weights. You can make your own fire kits by making your own fire starters like I talked about before. Put them in a small little container and you're set there. Making your own water kits, such as buying your own water straw, putting in a bandana, some iodine tablets, some coffee filters and such in there. That way you always know that you can clean your water safely and effectively. And the last one for the kits is making your own food kits. That is going to save you a ton of money. As much as I like Mountain House food and Backpackers Pantry and stuff, it's kind of pricey for what you get. It's anywhere between $5 and $8 or so per serving or per person per meal. And I have been making my own food kits for quite some time. And all you gotta do is go out and shop for some tuna packets and chicken foil packets and ramen noodles or rice or macaroni or something like that, and basically make the exact same food that you would get out of a Backpackers Pantry pack, but for maybe $2, $2 to $3 per time. So you're saving over half of your money by making your own food. And personally, I think it tastes better just because I might pack some salt and different seasonings as well and put it together that way. So if you're looking to save some money while bushcrafting, your food system is going to be a great place to start, and it's really simple to do. And I have an article on that on the website if you're looking into how to do that in more detail. All right, last couple ones that I have here is making bandanas. Let's see. Making your own bandana will help suit your own style and head size. There's some great bandanas out there, but if you want something more of a subdued color, or you find a cool fabric someplace, you can make your own bandana. Really simple. 10, 15 minutes tops, and you made your own bandana. And those can be used for several different things. Obviously, to cover your head, but also to filter water and carry some gear as well if it's large enough. So that's another project you could be working on. A couple more. Paste beads, making your own paste beads using paracord and beads that you find That way you can keep track of how far you've been hiking using pace speeds. Really simple to do. You could do that for like $2. Making your own cookware. Spoons, forks can be made out of different types of wood. I'm going to be showing you a video how to do that in the future, as well as making your own grills using live limbs and stuff like that. And the last thing that I did for the grill was I took apart my old gas grill that I'm getting rid of, and they had a small like side cooking plate grill on the outside, and it's probably 10 by 10 grill piece, and it's fairly lightweight and it's really good shape, so I just packed that in my bag, and that way I can grill meats and fish and stuff like that with me, and it cost me $0 pretty much. Making your own cutting tools is another thing that you could work on. Just look up on YouTube how to make different tools using flint rock or something like that, and you can make like improvised axes, knives. Like I said, all you got to do is find flint or other rocks, or you could even do it at a glass, like a glass bottle. The bottom of the bottle can make great arrow points, cutting tools such as a knife and the such. And the last thing that I have on here, guys, is snares, traps, and hunting items. You can make your own snare systems for a fraction of the cost that you can buy them online. Deadfall triggers. If you make all your triggers and everything beforehand, you can, you can use deadfalls a lot more effectively. And if they're already pre-made, then you don't have to spend the time making them each time you set one. Making your own bows and arrows using like PVC. I saw a really awesome video on how to make your own bow using PVC and other materials, and I think it costs like, I don't know, $12 or so. A really nice bow that is actually used for hunting. So I might be reposting that video as well. And you can make your own spears and frog gigs and etc. So anyways, guys, that was a quick run through of making your own gear items. And if you actually did all of these like I have, you can save a couple $100 easily with the food systems, your own fire starters, making your own haversacks and pouches and the such. You can save quite a bit of money. It adds personality to your gear, and it's just something really great to work on. So anyways, guys, be sure to check out the web site, betterbushcraft.com, and leave a comment on the page somewhere. Read an article or watch a video, and if you leave a comment, you may be glad you did. I'm not going to tell you all what I mean about that, but if you go on the website and leave a comment somewhere within the next week or so, you might be glad you did. Let's just say you might be entered to win something, so be sure to go ahead and do that. As well as check us out on YouTube, Better Bushcraft, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of video updates lately, so be sure to subscribe to that. That way you won't miss any of the new things that's going on here. Also on Twitter, Tommy B. Clark is the name, Tommy, the letter B, Clark. And you'll get the latest info about what's going on here at Better Bushcraft, some stuff that I don't post on the website or YouTube or even bring up in the podcast, but just some things that's going on and give you guys a head start on some things that I'm doing. And lastly, on iTunes, please leave a comment on the show page. Just go to Better Bushcraft, the show page on iTunes, and if you leave a comment, it would be really appreciated. Let other people know what's going on here, and let other people know how you guys like the show. So until next week, guys, go out there and practice your skills. And if you want to send me a story or video about your adventures that you've done during bushcrafting, I'll be sure to post them on the website as well as talk about them here on the podcast. That way we can learn about what everybody's doing in the community. So until next time, you guys take care.